Okay, so we're going to move on to center one. Center one covers metamorphosis, which is what really sets insects apart in the animal kingdom. Insects are in the same phylum as crabs and spiders and lobsters, but they're in a different class, insecta versus arachnid. So the metamorphosis is the body change, and there's two types of metamorphosis. One's simple or incomplete, and one's complete. So simple or incomplete has 3 stages, and that's where it's an egg, and then it's a tiny little grasshopper, and then it grows to a bigger one through molting. Very simple. That's why it's simple. And then complete has 4 stages, and it goes from egg to pupa to, maybe I have that wrong,
Egg, larva,
pupa, adult. So that's a 4-step process through metamorphosis, and they'll learn about that in detail in Center 1. So I know that you guys can all follow along in the outline. So I'll just kind of cover what's in our bin. The first thing, of course, we like to look at the books. This one is Insect Metamorphosis from Egg to Adult, so that one kind of goes through the whole process. And there's 2 other books in here. Life Cycle of a Butterfly, which is butterfly specific, and Amazing Insects and Spiders. And so before we do the really hands-on stuff, we like to look at that kind of thing. We have several handouts here with different life cycles of different critters in color. The woolly bear caterpillar goes into a Isabella tiger moth. So that's kind of neat because they can find these. I used to find those when I was a kid. A dragonfly, it kind of has an interesting life cycle in that it starts in the water, and as it grows older, it of course flies out. So it has gills when it's born, when it's hatched, pardon me. This talks about the anatomy of an insect, so what is an insect, and it talks about the classifications. It has a hard exoskeleton, it has a head, thorax, and abdomen. I don't know if all of you remember your spiders, but it had head, cephalothorax. So those are combined, the abdomen and the thorax. And then segmented legs is also another thing that sets insects apart. It's segmented legs. 6 sets of them, unless they lose one, as you'll learn in the trivia. And this just shows some crazy critters, the spectacular variety of insects, the 2 million of them out there to each one of you. It's daunting. So, I think, like I said, before you start with the fun stuff, I do these books and handouts, and then we get into the metamorphosis, which we have life cycle wheels in here for you to look at and to share with the kids. And you can choose how detailed you want to get depending on how old the kids are. There's an explanation of incomplete and complete metamorphosis. And then we have diagrams showing the difference. So here's eggs, nymph, adult. These are all incomplete. Some colorful, some not. But this shows a tiny little grasshopper growing, molting, shedding his exoskeleton, becoming a full-size adult. And then we have some complete metamorphosis. I'm going to pass this one around because I didn't know what baby ladybugs look like. Baby ladybug larva is here, which I've seen them, and they're so creepy looking. And now I know they're baby ladybugs, so I probably won't stomp on them anymore. And then butterflies and moths go through complete metamorphosis. When you're done with going through the cards, if you wanted to, you can use a dry erase marker and have the kids, talk about and label. This is a complete metamorphosis butterfly, but has fill-in-the-blank spots there. That's up to you if you have time for that. And then you move on to the fun stuff. So we have 2 types of puzzles in here. We have a 6-sided bug puzzle that has all different kinds of life cycles. And then we have a key in there. So it has a praying mantis and a butterfly, a darkling beetle and an ant, a ladybug, and a moth. So those are 6-sided. Make sure they all get back in here, but that should be pretty fun for them. I don't know how challenging that would be for the younger because it's 6-sided, but they are kind of color-coded too, so it's not too bad. And then we have, this is kind of the second part. I'm kind of jumbling it all up, but it's a build a grasshopper puzzle. Same sort of thing. They're going to learn about insect anatomy. and talk about grasshopper. And you can talk about the body parts, but the ones, again, that make them so special are the 6 pairs of legs, the head, thorax, and abdomen. So then we have 6 puzzles that they can do. They're all the same. And they're, I think, 12 pieces to each of them. But they're color-coded on the back, so if you don't have time to put them all together, you can make sure they all get in their bag. One's orange, one's pink. I don't know, different colors. Green, red, green, different green. So they can, after they learn about the anatomy, then they can go ahead and put the puzzles together and talk more about grasshoppers and how they go together. And again, they have incomplete metamorphosis. They have 3 stages to their growth. And we have a key for you. And this is what it looks like all jumbled up. And then this is some details about what their body parts do, in case there's questions. And then the last thing we have with the center are 4 little plastic models of the life cycle. So this one's a ladybug. It has 4 pieces. It has the egg, larva, pupa, and adult. So they can kind of touch and feel these and play with them and put them in the right order. This is a mealworm. It has some eggs in there hatching. An ant also goes through complete. They're all complete except for the praying mantis, who is incomplete, but he's in there. So that's got the, and we labeled on the bags exactly what's in there, so you know you can get all the parts back to where they belong. And I do believe that's all I have for Center 1.
And you guys try to get through that in 15 minutes.
Exactly. Yeah.
There's a lot.
There's a lot, yeah. So I don't know how you want to do, maybe, you know, these things would be better for the younger kids, and then save the 6-sided puzzles for the, you know, 3rd and 4th grade. Or, you know, have them work in groups and maybe split them up, so one group gets to look at these little plastic models, and then one group moves to the puzzles. I know you'll figure it out after the first rotation, because everybody does. Okay, any questions on Center 1? Okay, move right along.